Good morning, AKAPADers. So, it's no secret. I just want to say, I love Wicked. I really do. And I know there's I guess a little bit of online controversy, pushback against the movies. I don't care. I love The Wizard of Oz. I think it's one of the greatest imaginative franchises ever created. The journey of Wizard of Oz to the stage, Frank Baum, with the early silent films, and then what we get with the MGM classic, the one that we all measure it by, that path is one of my favorite intellectual property paths of all time. The path of Wizard of Oz, basically stemming out of a failed writer, failed salesman, a hustler, Frankie Boy, ending up where it did with Dorothy, the ruby slippers, and then to this day, people are lining up, they're spending the money to see it, yet another interpretation of it. In the intro, I mentioned it pretty much started with American comics, though. These interpretations that people love of The Wizard of Oz, Wizard of Oz being a feeding ground for new ideas and just experimentation and going into someone else's work and ripping it apart. Well, AKAPADers, we have Oz, Issue 1, Caliber Press, 1994. Let's get into this. So here's the wild thing. And if you guys want to talk about, before we crack this open, if you guys want to talk about Caliber Press real quick, I don't have any McFarlane classic action figures around me. But you should know this. Caliber Press is highly instrumental in McFarlane toys. The org behind us, the guys that were running Caliber Press, they're really the guys behind McFarlane toys. Look it up, fact check me. But you guys come here for the knowledge. I know that. A little bit of a side note. This, at one time, my AKAPADers, was a wall book. You would go into a comic shop between 10, 25, I saw this back in the day, as high as $30. This was a coveted black and white independent comic, ran for 50 issues. Ralph Griffith, Stuart Kerr, Bill Bryant. We open up here. Mayhem in Munchkinland. AKAPADers. If you need to know what I'm talking about, when I say we get into the guts and we reinterpret. I mean, even today, what's one of the big crowdfunding books? Battle Brick Road. Look at this illustration of the Scarecrow. Now, at this time, when it comes to interpretations of Wizard of Oz, people really only know the MGM musical. Glass Slippers. To see a adult, hardcore, edgelord edge, it captured people. And we get one hell of a first issue. It goes forwards and backwards in time. We can follow all of it. Does this have enough establishing shots? It does not. But it's independent comics. We don't get establishing shots much in independent comics. Is it illustrated as a black and white work? I would say this is not. I say as an illustrated, just on the illustrative level, communicating the pages and the panels. And we have issues drawing dogs, but we get three individuals with a floating book. We got a tree, a face on the tree here, but we clearly see people, boom, they just got zapped here. And they're trying to figure it out. They're going back and forth. They're like, did we take drugs? Are we hallucinating? Are we on the kitchen floor? And all of this involves Pete and Kevin over here. And I believe this is Mary. These guys were trying to get their bag in Golden Age American comics. That's how they got here. Let's reveal it. So they quickly get attacked by these insane gnomes. But they're munchkins, right? They're munchkins, they're gnomes. The dog we're trying our best to draw the dog. The dog's angry. The dog's pissed. But we see it coming, right? These guys put up their hands. I love this panel with the girl. She's just like, hold. I know how to handle this type. I think that's Kevin that says that, right? And they start kicking some ass. These guys are kicking Munchkin ass. A couple pages in. Let's go. And what you see here, now this is where, even though Caliber, highly successful, they lost all their money with Spawn too, by the way. But that was, I believe, a Spawn trading card game. I just love the intersection of Caliber and Todd McFarlane. It's a lost history. We'll do coverage on that. But our boy here is looking strong. He just kicked Munchkin butt. But then the tables are turned. We try and draw the dog again. We're still trying. But the dog fights back, right? The girl runs. So now we're separating. Now, I'm saying that the girl runs off. This Mary girl. Kevin Peter, come on. Right? She stumbles. The dog barks. I know they run in different directions based on what else happens in this book. This issue is much better with a reread. Because, as I was saying with the black and white artwork, the scenery, the timing, the separation of the blacks and the whites, and not enough gray creates, it doesn't pull us in. It just doesn't. But Pete and Kev here, right, they fall down the ditch. The little Munchkin King guy. Let's get after the girling. And these guys have a flashback. So we jump to a flashback. And, guys, you know what I say. Animals and cars, right, and children, hard things to draw. But they went to this old guy and they bought a chest. And they're hoping to make all this money. That's a comic book price guide here. And they have all these Golden Age comics. And she wanted to go out to dinner. She's like, what on earth have you got now, Kevin? I hope you have some money left. You're supposed to take me to Angelo's tonight. And whenever there's like a reference of that, like someone here goes to Angelo's, right? Like, one of the creators goes to Angelo's and he goes, honey, not tonight, but we're going to go twice next week because he's going to make all this money. So they got like Batman number 16, but they call him Ratman. The dog's like kind of looking jacked with a chest here, hard to draw. That's the best dog in the entire issue. But they start going through the pricing and they're like, holy crap, like we have the money. And the girl's like, Kevin, are you serious? Wow, where did you get this? And he explains to her. Maybe he sold his car, but he's got all these books. And they got regular books in there. So they get this. And he said, the old guy sold this to us for $50. But this one book here, right, has a lock. And the girl unlocks it. And then, as you guys can guess it, the tornado comes. It sucks everyone into Oz. Right? I mean, this is good stuff, AKAPADers. And the first issue is meaty enough to where we have like a turnability in the page. All the squiggles, thank you for tagging this as a flashback. But the flashback, as they arrive on Oz, right, we go because we're separated. The guys are with the dog. They fell down into the ravine. God help me with the dog that looks like a Demigorgon. A Demigorgon dog. And then we cut to the girl again, and some level of an establishing shot would be nice. The girl gets pursued by the army of Munchkins. This is a nice, strong panel. And then what do we get, right? Well, we're going to get a payoff to the cover. Because you're like, where's the guy from the cover? But the girl, like, she's evading. And this is like good stuff here. This is like an action scene where there maybe wouldn't be an action scene. It's Princess Leia fighting off the Ewoks. I always wish we had that in Return of the Jedi. But she's captured. And then as she's captured, it's him. It's him. AKAPADers. Here he is. Pumpkinhead is here. One of the Frank Baum characters. Right, we kind of see him in Return to Oz, the Walt Disney feature. Excuse me. And then we get a little bit of an intro to where, like, we're we love The Wizard of Oz. We love the ideas of Frank Baum. We're taking them to the extreme before there was anything extreme. And we thank you. So it's like a nice little, and then it's, hey, let's have a look at the amazing artwork of, and I agree, Bill Bryan, Firsty, where we get into the development of this book. I wish more first issues had this. This is very effective. Around this time, I reviewed a book called Frank by Nemesis Comics. They do something very similar in that. It's as effective. But as we, go through this, we see like the Scarecrow, like with the Raven. That's the coolest thing. Or the Scarecrow with a crow. Like, see, he like summons crows out of his cloak. You're just like this is a Woodrow Wilson. Look at the Tin Man. Look at the Tinny Boy over here, right? And he's fighting a flying monkey. Like, look at the armaments for the leg. Right? Woodrow Wilson. This could be Dorothy. This could not be Dorothy. Dorothy, sir. Cowardly Lion. All interpretations of the Cowardly Lion, if you want to connect it back to the McFarlane Oz figures, he's always Hulk size. You just gotta draw him Hulk size. And this is, who's it? Right, this is one of the guys, too, from Return to Oz. TikTok, right? This is like the TikTok guy. We have the Munchkins, the gnomes. I call them gnomes. They're Munchkins. I try and be nice. We have like this. This looks like a Princess Mononoke horse, like a forest horse. This is King Munchkin here, right? And then we have the humans. Kevin, Mary, 19. Kevin's 20. We have Pete over here. Pete Stevens, another firsty. Right? And then we get this, again, this Scarecrow. And this could be Dorothy, right? Scarecrow and Dorothy on the Yellow Brick Road. Very, and then it's like, a great, ending statement, right? From Stuart Kerr. See you in 30. And this book went on for some time. Guys, we have a David Makabuki here. Part 2, the Mayhem of Munchkinland. Right? Enter Scarecrow. Available November 1994. What a amazing first issue. Amazing black and white. With my criticisms, I don't think you could have got a better entry, though. And knowing that this went for 50 issues, well deserved. They set up so much in here. You want to read the next issue, you're buying the next issue. Mission accomplished. Let me cut in real quick, AKAPAD. Quick promo. Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD, the film buff. The film buff is my film critic moniker. It's a podcast. It's available on every single podcasting platform. During the month of October, this is 9 years running. We're like hundreds of episodes deep. Combined, the podcast is over 1,000 episodes deep. But during October, we do the 31 Days of Dread. That's one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. And sometimes we do 2 to 3 drops a day. You guys know I'm obsessed, but I love dropping the knowledge, share my passion. So many of these movies have my personal stories and personal experiences with them. Remember, guys, AKAPAD, the Film Buff Podcast. Don't let me down. Let me see you. It's available on every single podcasting platform on Earth. I want to see you there. I want to see you off YouTube. Come to me. It's the 31 Days of Dread, guys. Rock and roll.